Hey guys, I'm Jamaica and welcome to Make at Heart, the show that promises to be fun, entertaining and lighthearted. So I'd like to introduce you to a little segment I call Meek Thoughts. So I was thinking, the Jamaican dialect patois is really a variation of English words. So for example, when someone says, boy, in tall and lanky, it's actually lanky, which means tall or thin. When someone says, "Maganyam little bit of food, yeah," it's actually from the English word that is vittel. And the Germans say bickel, which means food or provision. And one of my favorites, when they say, "Oh, you look packed down and emaciated," the actual word is pronounced emaciated, and it means abnormally thin or weak. But there is one particular word that I don't know where it comes from. When people say, "You just little and frefre." What is frefre? I've never heard that word, an English word for it. So I was thinking maybe it's mature, but then it adds a little something to it. So mature and prime, but then what is prime? If we get into this, we'll never end. So if you know what frefre means, an English word for frefre, then let me know. Our first guest is one of the youngest television anchor as well as a Chevening Scholar. Today we welcome Vashan Brown.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. So Vashan, I had put up a picture of you when it was your birthday, and a young man has said to me, "I know that guy. I feel like me and him did go Calabar, or maybe Jaco." And I said to him, "Are you sure?" Because Vashan is from
I'm from St. Catherine, actually.
Oh, you're from St. Catherine. But what school did you go to exactly?
So the natural assumption whenever I speak and tell people that I'm from St. Catherine is that it's either you went to St. Jago or you went to St. Catherine or one of those schools in that general Spanish Town area. But I actually went to Bogwalk High School, now Enid Bennett High School in St. Catherine, which is one of those non-traditional high schools.
Okay, interesting. And then from there you went to NCU.
Right. From there I went to NCU. That is where the Mandeville bit came in, because a lot of people also think that I'm from Mandeville.
I thought that
because
for
of the
sure.
NCU connection.
Right.
So I lived in Mandeville for 4 years, very cold, when I went to NCU.
Okay. So do you get that a lot with people seeing you on the road and assuming they know you, where they know you from?
Right. I get that a lot. And my friends will tell you that whenever people engage with me and say, "You know, I know you from somewhere," I never ever tell them where they know me from. I usually allow them to be able to figure it out by themselves. And so I do get that quite a bit whenever I'm on the road.
Okay. So let me ask you something, and this is a very serious question. Do news anchors have two different voices?
That's an interesting question. In voice and speech, we're taught that it's always good to have one voice because you want to sound conversational, you want to sound authentic, you don't want to at any point feel or seem as if you're putting it on or it's all a show. You want to be your natural self. And the aim, I think, with reading news and presenting is to always be as natural and conversational and relatable as possible.
So you're telling me that if you want your friends to come to the party, it's the same voice as though you're reading the news?
Well, the voice is a tool, so you use it in different ways for different things. So you might sound differently presenting the news than you might sound reading a story, for example. So when I was at NCU, for instance, we had a course called Voice and Diction. I remember that the aim of one of the exercise was to see how we could use our voice to tell stories. So I did the story of, you know, the Three Little Pigs.
Right.
So, you know, with that story, you need to sound like one pig. you need to change up your voice in different ways to sort of tell the story. And so the voice is used to tell the stories. And sure, your voice might sound differently whenever you're presenting different things.
Okay. So could you give us a little rendition of the pig?
Yes, thank you. Okay, I think there's a line that says, not by the ear of my chinny chin chin.
Right,
Not
right.
by the ear of my chin. Okay, I can't do it right now, but I actually did it for a recording when I was in college.
Okay, well,
It was pretty fun.
that's quite interesting. So every night on the news, it's actually live.
Yes, it is live.
Isn't that nerve-wracking?
It is at times. I remember when I just started presenting primetime, it, I was really, really nervous. But one of the things we're also taught in our training, and I'm so happy for the people who groomed me to be able to present in the way I do, they've always said that, you know, the nerves are natural and they're also part of what will help you to do well in some instance. So I still get nervous sometimes, but I always tell myself, and I know that it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, so it helps you to get by.
And since it's live, have you ever had incidences of burping or farting on screen?
Okay, no, I get that question quite a lot as well, and I can't recall
Okay.
any of that at all.
You sure?
I'm very sure.
All right. So, what has been one of your craziest moments in terms of doing news broadcast, or even in terms of reporting?
Crazy in what sense?
Weird, interesting.
Interesting moments. That one's a tough one. So, interesting moments for me throughout my career when I'm covering big national events, like, for example, Tropical Storm Sandy, which was a
Right.
superstorm. That was actually my first time ever covering a natural disaster of that sort. And so
Wow.
that was a whole new experience for me, being on air, doing live reports outside of just news presentation. That was just an interesting part of my career, I think.
So let me ask you, in terms of commercial break, what happens when you guys take a commercial break? What do you do during the commercial break?
So I've anchored by myself, and I've also done co-anchoring. So during commercial breaks, you also get to speak with your co-anchor. But when I'm anchoring by myself, I tend to speak with a cameraman and interact with them. Or if it is that there is a breaking or developing story that's coming next, you know that you're looking over your script to see
Right.
how you can prepare to deliver that kind of content. So
Okay.
a lot of things happen for, you know, for different people, and for me, that's how the process works.
Okay. Did you ever imagine that this is what your life would be?
Huh. So, from very, very young, I knew that I wanted to be a journalist. But at the time, I didn't know what that meant. And
Wow.
so, as I
That's
grew
interesting.
older, my mother actually would usually say to me, "You're going to be on TV, you're going to be on TV." But she saw me doing the weather. I don't know, for whatever reason, that's what she saw in the future. So, from very early, I did want to do journalism. I didn't know, one of the things I heard from very earlier on is that it's going to be hard to get a job. It is going to be hard to, you know, fulfill these kinds of dreams. And so I'm really, really happy for how my career has turned out over the years, not without its challenges, of course.
Right, right. What has been one of your biggest moments or stories in your career?
I think my most successful project has to be the Augustown documentary that I worked on. Augustown in 2016 recorded 0 murders, and I did a
Wow.
documentary looking at that journey to 0 murders. How did the community move from a place that was once traumatized by violence to 0 murders? Of course, we're now seeing a flare up in Augustown, but it was interesting for me to document that moment in history. And so that piece won Best Documentary at the National Journalism Awards in Jamaica.
Right.
But not just that, it also won Best Documentary at the Caribbean Broadcasting Union Awards. So that is, I think, one of the biggest projects I've done. But I also look back at the past year, my post-Chevening life, and I think one of the highlights for me as well is participating in the general election debates. I think that was a good moment for my career.
It was, definitely.
I think people were able to see me in a different light. Not many people see me asking questions generally of public officials, and so that was also an interesting moment for me.
you've achieved so much. I think you won the Prime Minister's Youth Award.
Right.
And you're a Chevening Scholar. You're one of the youngest television anchor. But which one are you most proud of?
Ah, I'm proud of my 10-year career because it's been challenging over the years, and it helps me to reflect on my own resilience, my own. Just when I look at when I started media and where I am now, I think I have become more confident. I am able to use a phrase that I think is now so powerful. I think without any regret. I say to people what's on my mind, and I feel that I'm now in a better position to be able to apply evidence and rigor to every single thing that I do, and it's something that is just really remarkable whenever I look back at the last 10 years. But I'm also happy for that Chevening journey. I mean, that year was also a life-changing year.
Right.
You were on that journey with me as well.
Yes, definitely.
The UK is just such an amazing place, but outside of that, the London School of Economics and Political Science will always be a place that has just a special place for me because of how much I learned throughout that year and just the support that I got from the people at LSE.
Right. And it was during that Chevening journey that we also became friends. I was trying to remember, how did that friendship start exactly? Was it you that came to me or I came to you?
I think we met at the function before we got sent off to the UK.
Right.
But I think in the UK, outside of the general WhatsApp group, we started communicating.
Yes.
And then you came to
And
London.
I came to London, 'cause
right?
I
and
was
then,
always going
right,
to
you
London.
came to London, and of
Right.
course, whenever people come to London, you know, I just pack my bags and give them a grand tour of the
Yes,
city.
definitely.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've been very supportive, you know, throughout that time. Having met you in 2018, you've always been at everything that's very important to me. What would you credit your success to?
I would credit my success largely to my strong family support. When I was thinking of going to university, NCU, I did not have the money to do so. I tell people the story all the time, especially when I engage with young people, that I actually went to NCU with $5,000. Now, we
Wow.
know that $5,000 is not a lot of money to do anything. But my mother, she ensured that by the time that the semester ended, I was in a position to be able to pay my tuition and do all the things I needed to do for the entire 4 years at NCU.
Wow.
I just give a lot of credit to my mother, Cynthia Gordon, wherever you are. My sister as well has also been supportive, and my father as well to some extent.
Okay. So we're in the pandemic season or time from 2019. How has the reporting procedure changed between 2020 to 2021?
I think so many things have changed in the journalism profession. I mean, even the way we do interviews, those things have changed. We have gone on to do a lot more Zoom interviews. But I always make the point that whenever we think about like using Zoom and technology to reach out to people, we also have to constantly think about the people that are excluded from that kind of space. And so even though we use the technology to do those kinds of interviews, you also still need to go out into communities and to get those people who do not have the kind of access to the digital technologies. And so that, I think, is one of the major things that's changed, how we do interviews in the profession.
So do you plan on getting the vaccine?
So I have taken the vaccine.
Oh, wow.
I took it last Monday and I'm fine. I'm going to take my second dose in June.
Okay. And how was that experience for you?
It was a good experience. I took it at the University of the West Indies. I think it was the Mona Aging and Wellness Center. I had a few side effects, fever, chills, but the health professionals have repeatedly said that these symptoms are quite normal. If you take some sort of painkiller thereafter, in my case I took Panadol, and I was fine, and I'm good to go. You did ask me a question earlier on about what I credit my success to. I spoke about my family a bit.
Right.
But I also wanted to make one small point about, even when I just started media, the people that I worked with at the time, they were just really, really supportive. My first boss, Archibald Gordon, he was really, really supportive of my journey and helped me a lot along the way. Dion Jackson Miller is also somebody that I really look up to, who I really respect, who has just guided me, especially when I worked with her for All Angles for 4 years. I always tell her that I'm her longest serving producer for the show. So those people just have been really, really supportive. Janella Pursues, who is also a very close friend of mine, and I really, really respect these people a whole lot.
Since coming back from the UK, you did receive a promotion, yes?
Yes,
And your current position is?
so I'm now a senior reporter at Television Jamaica.
Oh, wow. Well, congrats.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to play a little game. I call it quick thinking, and I know you did not get where you are without a lot of quick thinking. So we have a little buzzer thing right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you a question, and you have 5 seconds in which to respond.
Okay.
So when the 5 seconds are up, I will click.
Okay.
But if you manage to answer the 5 questions, the questions in time, then you press your buzzer.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Try your buzzer to make sure it works. Good.
Yes. It works.
All right, so let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Which 3 media persons would you rather be stranded on an island with?
Oh, no, wait. I was supposed to press
You're
it, was
supposed
I?
to
I was supposed to answer. Oh, my gosh.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Janella Pursues, Andrea Chisholm, Giovanni Dennis.
Oh, so you can go ahead. You can press it. When you answer, you press.
Okay.
Good.
Mhm.
All right. Say 3 ways of saying hello in Jamaica.
Hello. Hello. Hi. Did I get it right? Okay, can we start this over? Okay, can we start this part over?
No,
Okay, yeah.
it's funny. Right. And you have Wagwan.
Okay, I want to start over. Can I start over?
No,
Okay.
you cannot. All right. Give me 3 words for passing gas.
Fart. Gas. Poop.
Poop is definitely number 1. All right. Tell me 3 beverages that you like.
Water, orange juice, apple juice.
Good. Name 3 fruits that are red.
Apple, cherry, strawberries.
Very good. Tell me 3 of your favorite singers.
Jennifer Hudson. 5 seconds, right?
5 seconds. But tell me who they are.
I like Jennifer Hudson. I listen to. Who do I listen to?
I don't know. What about local artists?
Oh, I do listen to. What is? Okay, this would seem as if I'm not a music lover. I really do listen to music every single day. But for some reason.
But you're not a music lover.
I do listen to gospel music, Glacier Robinson.
Right.
I also listen to Nadine Sutherland, who I know very well as well.
Yeah, so that's 3.
Yes.
I want to get back to number 1. The 3 persons you'd rather be strangled with. Who are they again?
Right. Who did I call? I don't you remember because it's 5 seconds. I was just really calling names. Okay, let me think about it now. Okay, Janella and Andrea definitely.
Right. You said Andrea and Janella.
Did I say Dion?
And I think that's yes. Why Andrea?
Andrea, I mean, I think she's quite smart. She's now in the UK. She also has an Adventist background as well. She went to NCU as well. So because of those kinds of commonalities.
Vashan, you have to pick people that will save your life on the island.
Yeah, but she's also very, I think.
Can she build
quick,
a boat?
She's a quick thinker. She's a quick thinker.
Why?
Dion is also quite smart. I'm sure she'll also.
Why Janella?
She's also an innovative thinker, I think.
So all of you will be just thinking on the island.
Yes, we'll be trying to find things, and everybody will be thinking like, how do we get, things
Food.
to eat?
Right.
Somebody can light a fire. Maybe that's me. I don't know.
So thank you once again for coming.
And thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you. Today's show is sponsored by Make Your Mark, where you can get resumes that allow you to stand out from the crowd. Email them at makeyourmarkjm@gmail.com. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you'll be the first to know when we post new content. And always remember, you can be the light that fights against the shadows.